I grew up in a world where I was not fortunate to be able to be in a home.
The last conversation that I had with you, something really stuck with me. When you came to this country, you told me that you had your flip-flops on.
I did.
And, and then now you run the most incredible mortgage company in the country.
I did not have a choice, nor did I have the freedom to make decisions in my life. Everything I've been through up to moving to this country was based off of the deck of cards that I was dealt, the hand that I was dealt. That was life for me. But I didn't have a choice. All my choices were I had to wake up every morning and do everything I can to survive. And so what sticks with me from my childhood to today is I don't have it. I never believed that the decisions that I make have to be like, oh, I need to do that, like decide between them. No. This is part of life. I don't have a choice. I will do it, and I just got to do it very, very good. That stuck with me for a very long time.
Hey guys, Brian Stevens here with Mortgage Shots, the National Real Estate Post, and guess what? Once again, think big, work small. We are going back to our roots. I got my good friend Mike Fawaz, who is the president of Rocket TPO.
I like the title president. I'm going to call you off. It's EVP of Strategy, Partnership, and Growth.
What does EVP mean?
Executive Vice President.
Now, what do you do?
You know what I do? I tell people I'm here to serve the broker community. Doesn't matter. It's not about titles. I like president. We'll aim for that. But I just want to make sure you had the right title. But overall, we serve the broker community.
You just threw me a curveball. So let's talk about that. Like, what does that mean to you?
In all fairness, it doesn't mean anything to me. It's not about titles. It's about the mission and the vision. And really, when I say this, because a lot of people say, oh, this is like, oh my God, like you're about to tell me how much you love it. Well, the truth is, if you love what you do, it doesn't matter the titles. What matters is your goals and your accomplishments, and how do you interact with people, and how do you impact people. And that's what I try to do, at least with my interactions, is how much can I help you achieve your goals? How much can I do to provide tools and put you in a position to win and make an impact in your life?
I want to tell you right now, we just closed a deal with a guy who had a 697 credit score, chief of police, and we did the rapid rescore with you, with your team.
Credit upgrade.
We got the credit upgrade. We got the better pricing. We put them through. And I swear to God, like my team said this whole thing wasn't going to happen. So I know it matters to you what you're doing, because you did something with like one of my files that was kind of extraordinary. Oh, no, by the way, we beat our closing date. We closed this thing in like 20 days.
That's amazing.
And it was, I'm telling you right now, it was really killer. So let's talk about a couple of things that you do. And I want to get into a couple of the larger issues, but talk to me on a granular level. What does it mean to you when you can help somebody like me with one of my clients? By the way, he's here right now.
I mean, when I hear this story, this makes me very, very happy. Look, I grew up in a world where I was not fortunate to be able to be in a home, and to be in a world today where I was just joking with someone 2 days ago. I was at a restaurant and we were talking about like our childhood, and I was saying like, hey, it's crazy to be able to sit in a restaurant and see all this fancy food and eat all this fancy food when I was part of a world where my meal was once a day and I had to work for it. Like I worked in the market all day long to make $2, and that $2 went 50 cents for a cup of rice, 50 cents for a piece of fish, and 50 cents for some veggies, and 50 cents for oil. And by the way, we're not talking oil in a bottle, Brian. We're talking oil in like a Ziploc bag. And then I took it home to make dinner. So when you tell me this story and you tell me that we were able to help someone through credit upgrade, which is a free service that we provide to our broker partners.
By the way, amazing. Just amazing.
I believe it because I see it. And we cover like the rescore cost. And then we also, and I think you just touched on it, Brian, we put you in a position to be able to get the better adjustments when you get the score up while the loan is locked, while the loan is in process. And we adjust based on the LLPA credits. So your client. That makes me very happy.
And by the way, all this stuff happened prior to closing.
Yeah.
All of it did.
20 days, rescore, adjust, better pricing, better cost to your client. This is the stuff that means the world to me.
I want to talk to you about Mr. Cooper. I want to talk to you about Redfin, but honestly, those things are kind of boring to me. What's really interesting to me is like what you're doing in helping brokers get their deals closed right now with Rocket TPO. You guys are doing a great job. I'd really kind of like to focus on that. When you wake up in the morning, like I woke up this morning and I said, okay, my stuff is going good. My loans are closing. My realtor partners are up. Everything in my world is kind of going good. But for the past, I don't know, year and a half, I mean, it really hasn't been that. We have to work and strive towards this. When you wake up in the morning, what bothers you?
Good question. I try to wake up and think about, because look, it's a big question, by the way, for me, because
It is.
I think about a lot of things that impact my life on a personal level and what I do, because I genuinely believe I am a public servant. For me, it's
Wow, that's big right there.
I am, because one, I'm not forced to do what I do. I actually enjoy what I do. I love it. I do, like I walk in here and I can spend the next 10 hours tonight here. And I'm not like, oh, it's not a job and I hate being here. No, not at all. I actually wake up and think about like, all right, what are we working on and how do we deliver? And then I ask myself, how are we earning the partnership every time we're having a conversation with one of our broker partners? And how do we step up in ways that will continue to earn the broker community's trust? Because look, it's a world, to your point, the last year and a half, couple of years, the mortgage gods haven't been very kind to us.
No.
Interest rates, and we don't know what's going to happen to interest rates in the next 6 to 12 months. But what we know is if we can at least control delivering incredible service to our brokers, who would then provide that service to their clients, we're at least doing something right, or we're on the right path. I was just on a conversation prior to this, Brian, with one of the loan officers that don't do business with us, and we were talking about some of the things that we provide. And when I was going through some of these benefits, he was shocked, like very surprised. I'll give you an example, and I don't know if you knew this. For example, on a Rocket Pro side, our rates are valid through signing, not funding. That's
Right.
a 3-day difference in your period of rate locks. You don't have to extend a rate if you're signing today. You're good. You're ready to roll. That makes a difference. We talk about the free credit reports. That makes a difference.
I kind of want to catch you off guard, and I don't do this, but I'm going to jump you a little bit right now.
Let's see what you got.
The last conversation that I had with you, something really stuck with me. When you came to this country, you told me that you had your flip-flops on.
I did.
And, and then now you run the most incredible mortgage company in the country. I want to know a couple of things about this. I want to know what sticks with you from like your upbringing, where you come from, and I want to know what's the most important thing that you see going forward. Don't give me a sales line. Don't give me a pitch. I want to know, Fawaz, like what's the most important thing that sticks with you from that first day, and what matters to you?
What I'm about to say goes against what I say all the time. I talk a lot about freedom, right? And having choice. I did not have a choice, nor did I have the freedom to make decisions in my life. Everything I've been through up to moving to this country was based off of the deck of cards that I was dealt, the hand that I was dealt. That was life for me. But I didn't have a choice. All my choices were I had to wake up every morning and do everything I can to survive. And so what sticks with me from my childhood to today is I don't have it. I never believed that the decisions that I make have to be like, oh, I need to do that, like decide between them. No. This is part of life. I don't have a choice. I will do it, and I just got to do it very, very good. That stuck with me for a very long time.
But like, how did you learn loans? Like, how did you go from like somebody who literally only had flip-flops in the snow that you had never seen before, right? Is that
Never
right?
seen before ever in my life.
How in the hell did you get to where you're at?
It's a good question. And I'll talk about my history with Rocket. Like when I first started 15 years ago, I mean, you can tell I have an accent. My accent's probably gotten a lot better than what it was 15 years ago. So here I am on the phone, surrounded by a bunch of people that don't have accent, trying to sell a mortgage. And every time I got on the phone, someone, in my mind at least, someone is like judging me based on that accent, and they're not willing to do business with me. So for the first 3 months, I didn't do any business, but I had an incredible leader that led by example. So he got on the phone in front of me, right at my desk and took my calls and wrote a loan for me. And at the moment he wrote that loan for me, like got that client in, that was the changing moment for my entire life. Because I realized then it wasn't about me or him. It was about, am I providing value to these folks or not? And ever since, everything I do, it's not about the numbers. It's about what are they looking to do? What are you looking to accomplish? And how can I add to your life? That's how I've done everything so far till today.
Who was that person?
His name is Zoran Bogajevsky, and he's still a sales leader at Rocket. I believe he's a senior vice president. One of the most incredible humans I've met in my life in the States.
Tom Appleton, who's our account rep and indispensable. He's been with you guys for 16 years. Do you know that?
Yes, of course I do.
I mean, he is incredible. So Zoran, he clearly didn't start in this country either.
You know what? I don't know. I can't remember. But I think, yeah, I don't think he started in this country.
All right. So, I mean, people are trying to find like inspiration, how to find a way to do a great job. I will sit here and attest to you. All the things that we're talking about right now, I've done them. I have somebody who's outside of this room right now that we rapid rescored. I don't even want to say this, but we didn't have a finalized like divorce agreement, and Rocket they killed it. They closed this whole thing 10 days early. They killed it. They killed it. And you guys do a great job, but like the personal side of this, like we have a lot of LOs out there who just don't find the way. And you have such a compelling personal story of what you've done to find success. I think that's a much more interesting play right now. Let's talk about Mr. Cooper. Let's talk about Redfin. Let's talk about all the stuff that like Rocket TPO is doing. But your story right now, one thing I want to ask you, tell loan officers what your personal best advice is. What do we do now when we don't know what to do?
So I tell you, you got to find what you're good at. You got to like really, really sit down and figure out what do you want to do. And by the way, it could be like someone like me that didn't have a choice. I had to do this. And then I said, okay, I'm going to do it really well. For example, Brian, the reason why I did well as a loan officer is because I sat around and watched others doing business when I didn't do business. And then I recognized, for example, that if I showed up every morning from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. at Rocket, and I sat on my desk and I turned on that little button that says I can accept calls, and my phone rang, I was going to write that deal. Because you know why? Because no one calls you at 6 a.m. or 6:30 or 7 on their way to work if they weren't serious about a mortgage. And I became the guy that every single morning when Zoran, my leader, showed up to the office, by 8:30 a.m., I had 2 deals on the board. That was just one thing I did. And then I got licensed in states where people at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock went home, and I was on my desk still taking calls because I'm licensed in these states, and I wrote these deals. You just got to find ways. Like again, when I tell you, like, I've always been in a world where I didn't have a choice, I think sometimes that's a good thing. Because you don't have to, just got to do it, and you have to do it.
I think that's really kind of an important point that people miss. Like, here's one thing I know. Tell me if you relate to this. Like, I've never been the best at anything. I've been good, but I've always known somebody who was better. And some of those people were inspirations. Some of those people were, active counterparts to, like, what I was trying to do. Do you feel that the toughness that you had to do to get to the point that you're at is part of your success? And how important is that?
It's very important. Look, I don't even know, like, if I'm successful today, by the way. Like, and I think we need to talk about that. No, I'm that serious. Like,
no, I know you are. I know you are. That's the whole point. I know you are. Like, when you said that, I know you are. And what I want to ask you, I want to scream at you right now is like, what do you think success is then? But I want you to finish your point, and then let's go on to the next question.
Yeah, I don't think I'm successful today still. And here's why I say this. Because success means a lot. Like, success means that you've perfected the game. You do things that no one else can do. And at this point, I don't think so. But you know why I like that a lot? Because I'll tell you what I tell people all the time. And this is important. Before you try to go out there and you show the world who you are and try, there's a lot of people that talk a big game. Like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. I tell people, please sit with yourself and ask yourself, do you want to do this? And question yourself, are you really committed to this or not? I just used this analogy earlier today with one of my team leaders, and I'll tell you, a lot of people want to go to New York. A lot of people want to be on Broadway. A lot of people want to get on stage and feel that incredible moment, but not a lot of people want to rehearse. You ask yourself, are you willing to rehearse? And are you willing to do it for 6, 7, 8 hours every single day? And are you willing to do it for 6 months straight before you get on stage? And if you're willing to do that, you'll do very good. If you're not, you can tell the world all the great things you want to do. It won't happen until you commit to doing the work that needs to be done so you can get on stage and be in that spotlight. People don't understand that. People always think like it comes easy. It doesn't. It takes hours and hours and hours. That light that shines on you on stage, that is work in progress for the last 6, 7, 8 months, year, 2, 3, 4 years before you get that spotlight. But are you willing to do that?
It's so funny you say that. Speaking to me was always a byproduct of what I was doing, which is reading, writing, and kind of digesting information and trying to share it. Before we move on, you don't feel successful right now. What makes you successful? When will you say, you know what, I've done this. I've arrived.
I don't know. And I mean it.
I know.
I think I can't measure success based on goals that we're achieving. And I can't measure success based on personal goals I'm putting. I think success will come based on the legacy that I want to build. I want to see one day where my kids stand and tell the world, this guy showed up with a pair of flip-flops on March 3rd, 1998. And when they're doing it, I want them to be surrounded by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people who says, you know what, your dad made an impact on my life. And that's when I can probably feel good that I was successful.
Well, I'm going to say this right now. I know Fawaz personally.
Thank you.
He's always been kind. He's always been generous with his time. He always overextends himself, and he always wants to help us. And I know that, and that is wonderful.
So overextend himself?
Yeah, you do.
You're spot on that.
Yeah, you do. I know
Absolutely.
you do.
Absolutely.
You spend too much time. Some people get that and some people don't. And it's really important to understand that when you wake up in the morning, I know you do this. I don't have to ask you. You wake up in the morning and say, what did I miss yesterday? And then you wake up and you try to make it right. But let's talk about the big acquisitions right now.
Yeah.
So Rocket's done a couple of things that are extraordinary. Mr. Cooper, a crazy story. Should brokers be happy about this, sad about this, or why?
So 2 things. I'm going to try to combine them both together, Brian, for a lot of reasons. One, I genuinely, legally, I can't speak in details about both acquisitions because these are deals that are not closed. So by law, I cannot speak about them. However, I'm going to just tell you my opinion and how I feel about these 2 acquisitions.
Good.
One, for someone that's been watching like Rocket grow in the last 15 years, it's kind of incredible to be part of this story today. The story that's shaping up to be an incredible story that very soon, once these 2 deals go through, the broker community and others will feel it and see it. And I'm honored to be part of it. Real talk, like I'm so excited about it. As far as like how should brokers feel today about both acquisitions, here's what I'll say. We've done a lot in the last 2 to 3 years to invest in the broker community, specifically in the last 2 years. We've been doing it for the last 10 years. We've stepped it up in the last 7 years, but the last 3, 4 years, we've done a lot. We've stepped up in many ways, free credit reports, credit upgrade, a bunch of stuff. And I'm not here.
Yeah, you have.
But we have, right? And if history repeats itself, and if history means anything to anyone, what we were able to do with what we had, it should tell you what we're gonna do with the broker community is what we're about to have. We're talking about a platform such as Redfin. In my opinion, Redfin has the best platform when it comes to home search and looking at and doing all the stuff. And now we're going to have access to it, and we're going to work with our broker partners on it.
Just real quickly on this one, I want to talk about this. Yeah. Is that going to benefit the broker? Because there's a lot of people who are concerned it's not going to.
Yeah, if you saw, and look, fear is a normal thing, right? And change is being afraid of change is also a normal thing. We're humans, we feel that. But if you really followed everything we've done so far, and you heard Varun, our CEO, speak about like those 2 opportunities, and I don't have the exact words, but I'll tell you the gist of what Varun said. We want to be in a world where we're gonna offer a client the optionality to pick which vertical they want to work with, whether it's retail, whether it's a broker partner, or it is. And that's a big deal. So yes, I believe, and again, I'm not speaking from a Rocket's perspective because we're not there yet, but from Mike Fawaz perspective, absolutely. Why wouldn't it benefit the broker community? We're invested in it. We want to step up and deliver to the broker community. I see a lot of opportunities for us, for sure.
Okay, so now just real quickly, I called a Redfin realtor about a month ago, and this was like the day after this whole thing kind of came down. And I said, well, what can I do with my suite of services, for which I have many? I'm like, how can we work together? And she says, I have to run my open houses. I can't give these to other people. I have to give my loans to a certain person who is a Rocket lender. And I said that I work with you guys. And she goes, well, I'm not sure like the direction that's going to go down. So when somebody who's working with Rocket, which I am, love your stuff. You've made things happen that frankly are just beyond the pale. But when I call these people in the future, are they going to be able to work with me who are Redfin agents? Because there's a ton of them out there and they make a ton of money. Is that going to be an extension of your retail? How is wholesale going to be a part of this?
One, I mean, whatever she or he shared with you, it's not our position because we don't own the company yet. I don't have all the details and I can't share all the details, but I can tell you Rocket Pro will be part of this equation, which means that our broker partners will be. And that's the extent of what I can share, Brian, but I promise you, like, we're thinking very big. I have no reason why I don't see us really doing things together with our broker partners, and I'm excited about it. That's why I'm excited, because we'll put us in a position. I just can't share, because one, nothing's even done yet.
Okay.
And we're working through it. But our vision and my leadership team vision and my senior leaders' vision, and I'm talking about Dan Sogorka, who's now the GM of Rocket Pro, we talk about this all the time. And this is like, we want to build this with our broker partners. We play a big role in the Rocket overall business, and Rocket Pro is a major contributor into the overall business. So we are going to have a seat at the table, absolutely.
Well, I want to be very transparent about this. What I just shared with you was the day after this thing went down.
Yeah.
So it's not entirely fair to ask this question and try to find like a very clear answer on it. And I do understand that. I mean, brokers want to understand that they're going to be a part of this. And everything that you've done since you've had stewardship over Rocket TPO has been in favor of the brokers, and you've done this in a really, really incredible way. Like I said, my business, my life, my family, my friends, my coworkers, my team, my company, we've all benefited like from what you've done. So I appreciate that. Let me ask you this though.
Yeah.
What is the next thing that you want to accomplish now that you got the reins to this whole thing, dude? You got it. Like, you're the guy. So now what does the guy do?
Hey, we have a team of but
you're the guy.
No, we have, look, and I appreciate it, but here's what I'll tell you. I think next steps for us is to really figure out, if you think about it, and that's what I've been focused on for a very long time, at least since the beginning of the year, is how do we bring realtors and brokers together? If you look out there, there's platform for realtors, there's platform for brokers, there's Facebook groups that has 100,000 realtors, 100,000 loan officers, but there's not a world where we're bringing realtors and brokers together where we can really collaborate and build relationships. And that's what I'm focused on. I'm talking about really how do we facilitate this synergy between two very, very important part of what a loan or a mortgage is, and really build these incredible relationships so we can benefit all of us from it. Like Rocket, I want to benefit off of the purchase wallet market share. That's clearly my goal. But how do we bring you guys together? We have a broker in every city in America, on every street, every county, every state. We have a realtor in America, every county, every state. How do we bring all of us together in this one world where we can collaborate, work, and really, 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 really deliver to the consumer? And look, we talk about owning the dream. Like, that's how you do it, is by the consumer is going to benefit out of it. So that's what I've been focused on. And so then you think Redfin, you think all of these acquisitions, this is going to be just, it's hard not to talk about all of this. And it's also hard because I genuinely don't have all the answers, but it's exciting to know that we are in a position to be able to bring all this together and really figure out a world where all of us benefit and all of us have a platform that we can go out there and benefit the consumer.
Guys, if you want to speak with your Rocket rep, it's down below. They're all there. Speak to them, become fluent in the language, find out all the incredible tools that they have. Everything that Fawaz says, we're using it, and it worked. I literally had one of my partners on a deal that just closed today. And my partner said, there is no way this is going to close. I'm like, if this happens with our rapid rescore, we get this. We don't have to put 25% down. We can put 20% down. We got to get 19 points over here. I'm like, it's all going to happen. And it all happened. Just talk with your account rep. They're doing things right now in this industry that, frankly, a couple of years ago, I didn't think was realistic. Fawaz, I got to tell you right now, I love what you're doing. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of where you've come. I'm proud of what you're doing. And I love the fact that you're still hungry. I think that's like really kind of an important thing for people to understand is you're hungry.
You got to love what you do and you got to believe in it. And it's not work if you just do it. So I appreciate you. I'm very excited to get to be able to speak to you. I know what you're building, by the way, and I'm seeing it. And I'm excited for what's next for you. And I think we're going to continue building together. You're a big part of this thing, and we appreciate you. We respect you a ton, and I appreciate you for asking me to join you today.
Brother, your stewardship of this business is incredible. Thank you so much, and make sure, guys, reach out to your Rocket rep. It's down below.
God bless you. Take care, guys.